Hello all and welcome to another video PMP exam question series part 4 of part 5. In this video we are going to see two questions and understand which will be the relevant option which is going to be the correct one. So as you know, in the PMP exam there will be situational questions and all the four options will seems like the relevant answers. So we just have to pick the correct answer among all those four relevant answers. So to start with, just going to give you a tip of how to crack PMP exam. So to start with, the situational question will test your ability to identify the relevant content and ignore the irrelevant one. So these tend to be lengthy. So it is important to read each question a couple of times so you can accurately identify the relevant information and leave out the insignificant information before answering. So guys, the tip here is to identify the relevant information in the question. Now keep that in mind and let's start with the video. Alright, so the question number 1 says, Ahmad is the new project manager of a software development project who has joined in the early stage of execution. He needs to conduct the project kickoff meeting to foster appropriate stakeholder involvement as specified in the project management plan. Which of the following specifies the project kickoff meeting stated in the given scenario? Now there will be four options, which are as communications management plan, stakeholder engagement plan, scope management plan, and stakeholder register. Now we need to figure out which option is the correct option. Now looking on all these four looks relevant to the question. People might pick communication management plan since we are talking about stakeholder involvement. But let's understand what can be the answer here. So, the stakeholder engagement plan is a component of the project management plan that identifies the strategies and actions required to promote the productive involvement of stakeholders in project decision making and execution. So, among all options stated, the option C and D can be easily ruled out, which is scope management plan and stakeholder register. So, a stakeholder register contains a list of project stakeholders. It can provide the information needed to execute stakeholder engagement plan, but it cannot specify kickoff meetings. Similarly, the scope management plan describes how project scope will be managed throughout the project. So now we are left with only two options, which is communication management plan and stakeholder engagement plan. So the communication management plan is a good option, but it can help with agenda, template to be used in the kickoff meeting. So among all the options which you can see, right now the best answer is option B, which is stakeholder engagement plan. Now looking at the question, it implies that the project manager needs to conduct the project kickoff meeting, which is nothing but performing the managed stakeholder engagement process as the kickoff meeting is held in support of the process. Since the stakeholder engagement plan is followed as a part of managed stakeholder process, so the answer B becomes the best answer in this scenario. Now moving on to the second question. Arun is a project manager of a telecom equipment manufacturing project. The project is risk prone in some areas and running behind schedule. The project still has a few open risks which are not yet handled. The corresponding SPI and CPI values are 0.81 and 1.15. The project manager decides to bring the schedule back on track and complete the project in the next 45 days, as one of the competitors has a plan to launch a similar product in the next 2 months. What is the best course of action in the given scenario? Now let's look into the options given. So the first option is the project manager should apply crashing technique to bring the project back on track. The second option is the project manager should apply fast tracking technique to bring the project back on track. The third option is the project manager should soon initiate risk response planning for all open risk. And the fourth option is the project manager should reduce the project scope for early release. So let's look at the question here. As I said, the tip for cracking the PMP exam: read the question again and again and pick out the relevant information. So the question states that the project is running behind schedule but within budget, and the project manager must complete the project soon to remain competitive in the market. Since the project is already risk prone, fast tracking is not advisable in the current situation. So, this rules out the option B, which is the project manager should apply fast tracking technique. Now, as per the situation in the question, crashing can be your best solution. I tell you why. Crashing is a schedule compression technique that shortens the project schedule without affecting the project scope. So, approving overtime, bringing in additional resources, and paying to expedite delivery activities are valid examples of crashing. Further, as the project still is under budget, the application of crashing technique would hamper the project budget to a great extent. So, after reading and evaluating the question, the correct answer is option number 1, which is the project manager should apply crashing technique to bring the project back on track. As I said, you guys have to go through the question again and again to pick out the relevant information and to leave the irrelevant information which is provided in the question. With this, it brings to the end of the video. For any queries and questions, please feel free to reach out to us at info@techcanvass.com. You can also visit us at www.techcanvass.com. You can give us a call at +91 93 255 66777.